All right, thanks everybody, and also a very warm welcome from my side. Today, as already mentioned, I will be sharing some insights on how we are utilizing eazyBI within Mercedes-Benz to enhance our feature rollout planning, to drive transparency and success. You see, I brought a nice car with me. It's our brand new CLA. It's about to hit the road later this year. It's full of tech. It's very awesome. I'm looking very forward to this car. Anyway, let me start by shortly introducing myself. I'm Julian. Obviously, you guys can all read it. I'm a data analyst at Mercedes. I don't have any, we don't use any fancy job positions. I'm just a data analyst. And I'm trying to support our 55,000 internal customers, making their work more visible using eazyBI. With the 50K internal user, I'm talking about Atlassian, or I should say the Atlassian platform or ecosystem users. All of our software development is happening in Jira at the moment. So I brought a little quote with me. That basically describes my job pretty good. So my goal is to help make those stories more meaningful, actionable, and accessible for all of our internal customers, especially when we are trying to roll out state-of-the-art features like we have with the autonomous driving in the past. Let me start by introducing our challenge, what we're having. In a large and complex company that we are, and also like a very old, historically rich company, we've been around for 130 years now, things are often very siloed. That also comes to happened with the feature rollout planning. So every team had their own data sources, their own tools. They were not standardized or unified in the way of working, so how they handled those tools. There were no traceability of our effect chains. That is basically like how dependencies are moving in the feature breakdown. I will try to explain that later on a little bit. And obviously this then leads to no harmonized KPIs or update processes. And this eventually leads also to duplicated efforts, delays, and unaligned priorities. But where there's complexity, there's also opportunity, in my opinion. So what we tried to do, we tried to establish a consistent reporting and set of KPIs across the various domains that we're having within the car development. Therefore, we tried to increase the transparency so that everybody is up to date and knows what they are working on. We also wanted to have coordinated update processes that is following the same cascadence. Greater transparency for improved decision making comes with that. So by utilizing eazyBI's flexible reporting capabilities, we saw an opportunity to foster efficiency, boost the collaboration, and eventually to the successful rollout of our features. By implementing that, we really saw an opportunity to go from a more reactive firefighting kind of approach to a, let's say, proactive steering approach. So let's get into detail. I need to talk a little bit more about the Jira project setup before I talk about the eazyBI products that we are also having. So where did we start? I brought a little diagram with me that is a very high-level overview of how we are working within Mercedes-Benz using Jira and different issue types. So we started by aligning our work item structures across our different domains. So when I'm talking about domains, you might wonder what we understand as a domain. A domain for us is something that is related to the car. So we have a body and comfort domain that are features that you feel in the car. So you're turning on your heating, you're turning on your massage seats, whatever you're feeling, this is one domain. Then we also have a lot of other domains, but this is just an example. So now we have aligned the work item structure in all of those different domains. And with the different linking, you can see it, we also made the dependencies transparent. So now everybody is able to see what sub-feature is contributing to a bigger feature. And additionally, by making those dependencies transparent, we were also able to trace our effect chains end to end. So I already explained, for example, we do have those green issue types, which is called customer function. This is something that the customer is actually feeling in the car, and those are broken down into smaller chunks. For example, we call them system function, and those system functions, again, are also broken down into smaller chunks. So now we have this traceability throughout the entire progress. Now let me go a little bit more into detail. I brought some screenshot with me. I'm already sorry, I needed to blur a lot of stuff because this is highly confidential data. So sorry for that, but I think you will get the point. So we did not only harmonize our work item structure, but we also harmonized the way of working. What do we understand with way of working? So the field configuration, how is the workflow set up for the different issue types, and what's the cascading this is updated, because basically we are also automating a lot of stuff, and these automatic intervals are also now following a strict plan. So as I already mentioned, we standardized our field configuration, we unified the way of working so that across those different domains that I mentioned earlier, they are now all working in the same kind of cadence. That allowed us to do a consistent maturity reporting. So you can see on those customer functions, this issue type, there is always one issue type which is called test plan. This test plan is holding the maturity value for that given issue type. And as you can also see in the screenshot that I brought with me, we are using Jira assets heavily, right? Why are we doing that? I mentioned it earlier, we are coming from a lot of different source systems and source tools. We are pulling that data out of those tools and pushing it to Jira Asset to basically enrich our Jira ticketing with additional information. So Jira Assets is also very, very important for us. Now let's get a little bit more data specific. So here's what the setup looks like. It's just a high level overview, but I think it will help you understand the gratitude of it. On the left side, you can see that we are importing different projects, different asset schemes into eazyBI. Then obviously the magic happens within eazyBI. I will come to that in a little bit. And then those dashboards and reports that are created within eazyBI are distributed across our entire organization. And this integration or this data flow is not just a technical one, but also a logical one, because you might have saw it earlier, the data is structured in a way that you can look at it on different points of view. So for example, management level is not interested in this sub-feature, what's going on there. They just want to know, is this customer function running or not? So therefore we can filter the data based on the issue type and have a look at the maturity on let's say different levels, right? So you can drill down from a very strategic point of view all the way down to a single test plan and see what is going on in that specific sub-function. That's one of our most used products that I brought with me. That's our maturity overview. So what is this chart doing? This chart is essentially helping us to track the progress and readiness of our features. As you can see, each bar represents one hardware cycle. You might want to refer as a version, because we use hardware cycle because obviously the software needs to be flashed to the car, then get tested. We're testing all over the world. I mean, we're even driving our cars on a frozen lake in Sweden to test the functionality there. So it's very crazy, but that's why it's also only a quarter of a year. The height of the bars indicate the number of features. I'm also sorry I had to blur it on the y-axis a little bit because already mentioned it. It's highly confidential, and I needed to go to several marketing committees to get this approved. So yeah, was some effort in there, but I think you get the point. And obviously, by utilizing the page filters on the left side, we would also be able to drill the data down that I just mentioned, right? So at the moment, we are filtering on a test plan that is related to a customer function. You're seeing that here. And if we switch that to a system function or any other issue type that is like within that diagram that I showed earlier, you would see the same maturity report. And as you can see, we are progressing very good. So that is very nice. The second product I brought with me is what we call Feature Ramp-Up. It's not that complicated. We're even using the standard measures out of the box that eazyBI is providing for us. And this report is basically designed to give an overview about what is coming in the next versions or hardware cycles. You can see the blue bars, they are showing this cumulative view that just gives you an overview how many features there will be in total at some point. And the red bars, they are showing like specific for each hardware cycle, and you can even see it. We do have hardware cycles that are not labeled as a hardware cycle because this was back then when when we haven't harmonized everything, but now everybody is following the same cadence, so you can see that there as well. But getting back to my point, the red bars, they indicate when specific features should be ready. Like the maturity level should be green so that they can be like delivered and shipped. That's it for the products. Let me now give you a quick overview, like what have we achieved harmonizing our way of working and by using eazyBI. Well, the result is actually reflected in a consistent and standardized reporting and a set of KPIs that is used across all of our different domains. So now we are able to finally compare apples with apples and not apples with, chocolate pies. We were also able to enhance our traceability and make the effect chains visible for our internal customers. We were able to streamline our update processes, so everybody is now following the same cadence, is following the same maturity assessment intervals. And by having eazyBI and distributing those eazyBI dashboards or reports to everybody within the company, we increase the transparency a lot. Also, everybody of you probably knows it, by just clicking on one of those maturity levels, you can directly see in the Jira Issue Navigator what feature is like green, red, or whatever you want to see, right? And then you can directly jump into the ticket and see, hey, who's responsible, what's up, what do we need to do, who do I need to talk to? So this is really awesome. And I also personally think that teams, or let's say individual people, feel more empowered because they are now aware of the bigger picture. They know what they are contributing to, because you need to think Mercedes is insanely big, right? We have so many thousand internal colleagues that are working on that, and being aware what you are contributing to, I think, really empowers you. And well, we really wanted to boost efficiency. I think we did that also with Jira and the entire Atlassian tool chain. Obviously also with the apps that are coming, and obviously with eazyBI, we greatly improved on the collaboration and teamwork. I'm really happy for that, because now people are finally understanding why we are doing all that. It was a long road, but I think we are finally getting there. And that brings me also to my last slide. You might wonder why are we using eazyBI? We are such a large company, but the Jira and native Jira and Jira Asset integration, without the need of having to buy an additional expensive backend like, Databricks or whatever, is really, really awesome for us. And also the capabilities. Raimund, you mentioned it earlier. What was it? Simple things, easy, complex things possible. So advanced data analytics, custom calculations, also like very simple reports by just dragging and dropping your dimensions. Everything is possible, I feel like, and this really also like empowers our users, right? So everybody within Mercedes who's using the Atlassian platform is able to use eazyBI. A lot of people are already doing it. They're creating their reports there, visualizing their work, because I feel like a lot of people that are doing, like working on their daily business, they know best what they need to visualize, right? And with eazyBI, we're giving them the opportunity without the need of like, oh, I need another backend, I need an additional tool. So this is just integrated within Jira, which is awesome. And obviously, yeah, it's the community. It's you guys, the awesome support that we are also like heavily using. I mean, some of our users, yeah. But anyway, we're really happy for that, for the support, and we're just glad that eazyBI exists and that we are able to use it in the way we do. That's it for my short presentation. I hope it was understandable. If not, ask questions, ask me while I'm around here. Thanks.
So, any questions? Yep.
I have just one. Will you eat lunch with me?
Yes. Of course.
So, okay.
So you already mentioned that to introduce this standardized way of working in such large enterprise is a challenge. And so was it so that initially there were a lot of people struggling against that because so they used some previous way of working and that they thought that it was good? But do you now already get that have you convinced those who were skeptical initially that they see now the benefits of this unified way of working?
Yeah, so I mean, it was a very, very long way getting to what we are now. I mean, introducing Jira, introducing this new way of working, coming up with this unified structure across all of our domains. You need to talk to a lot of people, and those people are not. They don't know Jira. They don't know eazyBI. They know they're probably only like on their own configured tools, and they want to stay there. And convincing them coming to, let's say, a new ecosystem, that was the hardest part. But I think now they're finally seeing what we achieved, and I think they're pretty happy with it at the moment.
How long time it took so to convince the skeptics and until they see the results?
So we are still on that journey. A lot of people are still not convinced. And I mean, I gotta say, we have 3 instances at the moment, right? We have 2 big data centers and 1 cloud. And we just finished, I think, our Confluence migration to cloud. And later this year, we will start our Jira migrations from data center to the cloud. So there comes a lot of change with it, right? But I think the whole journey started probably 3 to 4 years back, and we're still not done. So probably takes us another 3 to 4 years. Yeah.